Congresswoman Claudia Tenney led the charge in the amicus brief, along with Elise Stefanik, for this ruling. She joins us now. Congressman, your thoughts on this win?
Yeah, this is a big win, and I'm just honored to have led 175 of my colleagues in the House on this great win. And this is really just a win, not just for New Yorkers, but it's a win for Americans with a beautiful decision that was put out by Justice Thomas, very clear, incredibly brilliant in its simplicity, just restating and underscoring that the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And we are just so glad that Justice Thomas delivered this decision on behalf of New Yorkers and American citizens.
So the Sullivan Law went into play in 1911. I understand this guy, a Tammany leader, state senator Tim Sullivan, introduced the law following a big shooting in Gramercy Park. They outlawed the carrying of a concealed weapon without a police-issued permit. Why did it stand all these years, and why does it need to change now?
Yeah, I think it's just that there was not a will to change this in New York. Obviously, very left-leaning justices on the courts in the past, and a lot of lack of understanding of the clarity of the Second Amendment. And Justice Thomas outlined that the Second Amendment should be read using the plain language, that this is a right, it's a constitutional right, it's not a second-class right, as he calls it. And I think finally we have a 6-3 court ruling that this is actually a right to bear arms, not just in your home, but outside. Interesting, on the Sullivan case, it was also determined that this case had something to do, and part of our novel approach in our amicus brief, which is our friend of court brief, is that there was a bigoted type of standard, that they were discriminating against people of certain ethnicity and color, which is why what's so incredible, while the left is breathlessly melting down, including Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul, the left-leaning Legal Aid Society of New York City hailed this decision as a civil rights win, because now people of black and brown descent will not be arbitrarily discriminated against in their exercising their constitutional right to bear arms. And so this is a big win for civil rights as well.
Very interesting. So far, there's a 2-page opinion within this opinion that Kavanaugh put in that appears to limit the bill. They're going to say, come up with a list of places you don't want to carry a gun, like government buildings, subways, hospitals, parks, daycare centers, cemeteries, worship houses. How will that work? And when will this new legislation or this new view of the Second Amendment affect New Yorkers?
Well, this is effective immediately because it's a Supreme Court decision. It'll be remanded back to the courts. But right now, what it does is take away the ability to require people to have a restricted concealed carry permit, not just in New York, but across the country. Many states don't even have this requirement that New York has.
But what about those restrictions? Congresswoman, what about the restrictions that Kavanaugh put in there? So are you open to that? Should you be able to carry a gun by a school, church, government building?
Yeah, I don't agree with Justice Kavanaugh, because anywhere that you need to bear arms, and that was clearly done, there was an exhaustive historical account by Justice Thomas, and also an interesting concurrence by Justice Alito, who also clarified this even further. This is a simple right to bear arms, not just to keep arms, but to bear arms outside your home. So now New York courts, New York jurisdictions, and jurisdictions across the country that have this extra restriction aren't going to be able to uphold those with police rules. Also, there are going to be certain areas where there will be restrictions. This is not completely unrestricted access to a firearm and to a concealed carry license. So in terms of where you can carry, I think that remains to be seen in light of Justice Kavanaugh's concurrence. But the main opinion by Justice Thomas is very clear that the right to keep and bear arms is still preserved and something that's kept by the Second Amendment.
And it affects 6 other states. We'll see how this goes. A huge Titanic win for you here in New York, 6-3. The New York Post and editorial is against it. The governor and mayor are against it. You obviously are for it. Congratulations, Congresswoman.
Yes. Thanks so much.